Paleologos, the Director of Political Research at Suffolk University, is with us. We continue with the OTR Pop Quiz. Question 3. Which of these New England states does not hold its primary on Super Tuesday? Maine, Massachusetts, or Vermont? Maine, Massachusetts, or Vermont?
I will say Maine.
It is. That's you know.
They have
I had to do
You
it.
said you'd be 0 for 5, and you
I had to
turned
do it
3.
for the suspense factor. Okay,
That was
I'm
very
sorry.
good.
All
We
right.
should play some Jeopardy music then. It takes 1,237 delegates to win the Republican nomination. How many delegates do the Democrats need to win their party's nomination? It's a multiple choice.
It's more, yeah.
Is it 1237?
No.
Is it 1382?
No.
Is it 2237? Is it 2382?
2382.
That's exactly. You're 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You want to ask me the fourth, fifth question?
Unbelievable.
This summer, the Democrats will host a national convention in Philadelphia. The Republican convention will be in Cleveland. Which convention is first?
Oh.
Which one is first?
That's just a coin toss.
That's right. It's exactly right.
It's a coin toss for me.
And they're only separated by a week, actually.
And you're doing pretty well.
I'm going to
so
say Democrat.
goes.
You're going to say
Goes
Democrat?
last.
You helped him with that one.
I didn't. I
The
didn't say
Republican
anything.
convention is first. You are right. July 18th to the 21st.
And what's the rule there?
The Democrats
rule
are
is
a week
that whoever
later.
is in
Power
power at the time, his party goes
Gets
last.
last, right.
And it happens
Yeah.
to be
Very
Barack
good.
Obama right now. You look at numbers, you look at small numbers, look at big numbers right now. You look at the delegate count. Is there a path to a brokered convention for either party this year?
Everybody talks about this. I'm really not sure about that. I mean, if Trump does what he did in New Hampshire, which is to keep the 4 alternative candidates to him even, so that nobody really grows into the low mid-20s, that's a trend that's going to continue. So I'm not sure. And on the Democratic side, you know, I think it's frustrating for a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters because they think that he leads in the delegate count now, right after the
Right,
big win
after
in New
that,
Hampshire.
yeah.
And I think they're beginning to learn how far behind he is to Hillary Clinton because of the superdelegates. And I see a repeat of 1984, where Mondale, who was the entrenched insider, served in the Carter administration, you know, runs for president in 1984. Gary Hart wins the New Hampshire primary, and all the college kids who helped Hart win are looking at each other back then saying, what is this thing about superdelegates? Why is Gary Hart, you know, way behind? And there was this civil war that went on within the Democratic Party.
If I'm going to mention a name, Michael Bloomberg. If he does decide to run, how does it realign the fight? Does it hurt Trump and or Sanders?
Right. I'll tell you in about a week, because we're actually fielding a poll with USA Today, and that is the one ballot test I really insisted on us testing, which is Sanders, Trump, and Michael Bloomberg as an independent. And I want to know who he's drawing votes away from and what the demographic breakdown is.
Earlier this week, Bernie Sanders says that if he runs, it hurts him. That's what he said. At least Bernie Sanders claims that it would hurt him more than it would hurt Trump.
Yeah.
Record turnouts in Iowa and New Hampshire. To continue this trend, voters have to believe they have a voice. Where do you see either party having an obvious frontrunner? I mean, do you think it'll take the end of March, the end of April? I mean, do you think it's going to move into closer towards the summer rather than just quickly?
Look at Super Tuesday. I think that's, you know, that's where the rubber hits the road. If Hillary Clinton hasn't taken back the momentum, if she carries Super Tuesday, you know, she has got a very good chance of doing that unless she falters in the next week or two in these upcoming primaries and in the Nevada caucus, then she should be well placed. She goes into the March 15th elections, which are, you know, big states. The Republicans have their March 15th elections, which are all or nothing. So I think between March 1st and March 15th, we'll have this thing determined.
You know, frequently you hear it referred to as the SEC primaries, the Southeastern Conference, but Massachusetts is a player on Super Tuesday, and there are a number of delegates available in this state.
And how? And very quickly, do you think Hillary Clinton's in trouble here in Massachusetts?
You know, she beat Barack Obama by 15 points back in 2008 here. And I think you've got to look at the difference between the Democrats in Cambridge and Arlington and Newton and Brookline versus Worcester, Springfield, Fall River. And I think in the Worcester, Springfield, Fall River, Hillary Clinton's going to win pretty comfortably. In the more progressive cities and towns in Massachusetts, Bernie Sanders is probably going to run up big margins.
Thank you so much. Great to
pleasure.
see you. Thanks for coming on our
Thank you,
OTR this
Ed.
morning.
We could talk for another hour easily.
David Paleologos has been with us. We're going to take a break. Our political roundtable weighs in when we come back.